Peace family. Chef Joseph the Entrepreneur back at you again with another video. Chef Joseph the Entrepreneur back at you again with another video. Today is Tuesday, July the 14th. Isn't it strange, or isn't it something, how you could set out to do something and which is groundbreaking within your own right, and a lot of people are just sitting on the sideline not doing anything. And when you step out there to do something, it's almost next to impossible for it to be done. And sometimes people can't handle the fact that you stepped out there to do it. Thus, they will try to tarnish your name. They will try to throw salt on your product. They will try to do or say anything to anyone to discourage them from supporting you. I'm not speaking only to myself, but I'm speaking to those of you who can identify with this. You could change your life. Let's just say a person that's been through some things years ago, to get on their path. And 20 something years ago, they were into whatever, And here, 20 something years later, you have some of the same people talking about what they did 20 years ago. Like the world doesn't change. Like people don't change. People grow up and they do things, they go through things, to develop into the person or the people that they become into today. And there should be room for growth. But isn't it something how you can step out there and do something, and because someone else is not doing it, they want to try to pick apart what you got going on because they don't understand your processes. That is very, very, very sad. Like, do you know how many times people have come to me, really mainly people that look like me, I'm just being real about it. Are you sure they real Maryland crab cakes? Because I'm going to tell you. And I'm like, are you sure? What do you mean, am I sure if they're Maryland crab cakes? You know what I'm saying? But you don't go to Uncle Billy and ask him about his fish fillet, knowing that, it's not real. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like it's just crazy. And, but people will pick apart what you're doing because they don't understand how you're doing it. They don't understand how where you get your product from. Do you ask McDonald's where they buy their double cheeseburgers from? Do you ask them where they get their meat from? Do you ask Burger King where they get their chicken from? And so on and so on. And this is no shade thrown to any one of those companies. People like what they like. But it's very sad because people don't understand how you were able to rise up out the ashes to build something for yourself, but yet want to pick apart what you got going on, how you did it, and they have no clue about who your suppliers are, where you get any of your stuff from. And it's very, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I can tell you as an entrepreneur, do not let that discourage you. Make sure that when you step out there to put your product out to the market or out on the market, make sure it is solid, for sure. People will accuse you of things that you didn't do. For example, I remember one time we were in a restaurant and the lady swore up and down that the fish was tilapia. And just like, instead of coming to add, first of all, it's on the menu. Okay, and bright lights. Can understand, it's on the menu. Past tense, it was in the menu, on the menu. And it's displayed as flounder. And why y'all, this is tilapia. I swear it's tilapia. Just went off, like, without even coming and saying, okay, to one of the managers or whatever, hey, this, is you sure, is this tilapia? I mean, it kind of looks alike, or whatever the case would be. But yet, you're going to approach the company and swear and insist that the product that they're selling is tilapia. I mean, without even questioning, this is what you know. Like, you formulated your opinion. Can't nobody tell you nothing. This is what it is. And I was like, look, put $500 on the line, and I'll show you the supplier. There you go. Put your money where your mouth is. Put your money where your mouth is. Well, no, I'm just saying it's tilapia. But wait a minute. If you're going to argue us down about what our products are, and you're so insistent to discourage other people from buying this product, then put a bet on it. Look, we was locked and loaded, ready to let it. We was ready to let it go. But what did she do? She backed down. Well, I'm just saying. No, don't just say nothing. If you're so adamant about what you think, then put your money where your mouth is. If you ain't got 500, let's do 100. Crickets. I've seen this time and time again as being in business in the food industry, where you have people, and this is just in my opinion because I don't know their backgrounds obviously, but I can tell by the mentality and the mindset that most of these people have no they want to see you fail, and they want to pick apart everything you do. Don't let that discourage you as an entrepreneur, because people are going to talk. They're going to have plenty of things to say behind your back. They're going to make up things or whatever, and it's and then they look at you funny. Excuse me. All of a sudden, people are looking at you funny based on a lie of what other people have told them, or someone else has told them. It don't have to be people. And I remember watching how the restaurant went from like a 4.9, 4.8 rating to like a 3.9 or so. And a lot of this was false comments. I mean, literally false comments. And I think that it can be very discouraging to those of you who do not have tough skin. It can be very heartbreaking then when you know that you put everything into your business, to make it 100, but because someone hates the color of your skin, or someone sees that you're in a prime location and they don't understand how you got in that prime location, then they want to pick apart, what you got. I've heard the stories of, like I've seen this story before, in times past, where someone will order a 10-piece hot wing. No questions asked. As soon as you give them the plate, they eat 2 or 3 or 4 pieces of chicken. Man, I didn't know these were pre-breaded, man. I mean, can I get a refund? Can you get a refund? Now, first of all, the pictures are on the menu display board. The pictures are literally on the menu display board as far as what is being sold, what is being advertised. Everything's on the board for you to see visually. But you eat the chicken, and now you want to question after you eat, oh, these were pre-breaded. You know what I'm saying? I can't eat pre-breaded. Well, didn't you think to ask that question before you even ordered? And number two, the picture's right here on the board. You know what I'm saying? It's a visual. Then you get pissed off and leave. Man, they sold fake chicken. Your rating goes down by 2 points. See what I'm saying? That is the type of stuff black business owners go through. Seriously. And I'll say shame on those, and shame on you, to those of you all who've developed that type of mentality to set out to destroy other black business owners, because they're doing something clearly that, that you could be doing yourself, but yet you don't believe in yourself enough to step out there. But because someone else does, then you got something to say. though I've totally pivoted from a whole lot of that industry, still in the industry, but not on the level that I was at the industry, that I was in the industry. And I can tell you that I'm a lot happier. I am definitely, my time is definitely more expansive. I have more expanded time to do the creative projects that I need and wanted to do. Um, in other words, my magnum opus. But I'm saying all that to say to you that to those of you who are desiring to be entrepreneurs, you're going to be faced with that, especially if you're black. I hate to say it, it is what it is. Um, in my opinion, a lot of people, some people, I ain't said a lot, but over the course of years of seeing this, I've seen where people have, are just sent just to find out your processes. Work 1 week, find out how you do things, quit. Just a lot of things, man. I'm telling you, it is definitely a situation. And this is why you're still stuck, you know, because you won't step out and do it yourself, nor do you have the character to be truthful what your intentions are, you know. And just kind of a random thought situation as well as far as the things I'm discussing. But overall, don't let people pick you apart. Don't let people discourage you. Don't let people put anything negative inside of your mind about what you should do about your product and how you should do, with your products. When you know what you have, which I knew what we had. I know food costs. I know what's spent. I know like the quality of the food that we sold. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, we talking about restaurant style, stuff. You know, food, restaurant style food in particular. And yet, those who try to pick apart, and this is not for everybody, by the way. And shout out to the ones who did support. You know what I'm saying? But for the very, very most part, people love what we serve, straight up, hands down. People love it. You know, I can tell you that people are looking for where we are, etc. And I can tell you that as the one who started this particular venture, who still carries the torch of that venture, I can tell you that I had to pivot, you know, and some of you in life will get to that place where you would have to pivot. You may build something, and then when you look up, you realize the season of that is over now. You've been there, you've done it, you got the t-shirt to prove it, you know, and it's time for you to pivot to move on to, as what one of my mentors would say, the finer things of life. you know, where you can take a vacation, where you don't have to be babysitting people. You don't have to, you know, somebody call out on a Saturday morning, leaving one manager to run a whole restaurant, on a Saturday by herself type of thing. See what I'm saying? Disgusting. But it didn't do anything but make me stronger as an entrepreneur, as a man. It has made me very insightful to see failure, pattern recognition, to be able to see failure before it even gets to your door. I can literally, by the first conversation, I can kind of tell a person where a person is in their life and what your intentions are, But overall, do not let people discourage you. People will try to pick apart what you're doing just because they lack the wherewithal to figure out how you did it. So it must be fake in their mind. And that's furthest from the truth. So if that happens to you as an entrepreneur, keep going. Like this video if you don't mind, please. Subscribe to the channel if you choose. But don't let that discourage you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna sign off here, and hope this was enlightening for you, for you fellow entrepreneurs who are desiring to do things. Do not let it discourage you what people may say, and make sure you're dealing always honestly with customers, with people, and with your product, or the products that you're serving, because it will come back in the end to bite you if you're not 100. And that those are the principles that I live by. But yeah, a lot of people couldn't understand how I did it. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you that we don't get bank loans. I can tell you that, yeah, on the most part, they won't fund our ventures. We have to fund them ourselves. It's not a big secret, but that makes us stronger. And guess what? You don't owe anyone. So, like and subscribe to the channel, Chef Joseph the Entrepreneur. Um, Hope y'all are having a fantastic day, and I wish you nothing but success. Peace.